Plan B, contraception, chemical abortion pills. What are they? What's the difference? I know there's a lot of confusion. Today, we're going to clear that up on this episode of How to Win the Debate on the Explicitly Pro-Life podcast. Hey, Pro-Life Jen, I'm Kristan Hawkins. Thank you for joining me. Okay, so when we're talking about chemical abortion pills, I can't tell you how many times that when I'm having a conversation with somebody about chemical abortion pills, folks will be like, is that the Plan B morning after pill? No, it is not the same. So I'm going to break it down for you. I've got some medical terminology, so I'm going to have to use my notes. So just stand by. First, chemical abortion pills. The FDA says you can take these up until like 10 weeks into pregnancy. We know abortionists are giving them later. This is the next wave of the abortion movement. I've been talking about this. There's multiple podcasts about chemical abortion. You need to go back and watch every single one. More than half of all abortions are committed using these drugs. The goal of the abortion lobby is to get these drugs over the counter and then for them to be more than 90% of all the abortions. Okay? That's their goal. Chemical abortion drugs do not just simply stop the creation of a unique, whole, living human life. They actually end the beating heart of that unique, whole human life. These are abortion drugs. This is a pill. There's 2 pills. You take one, you take the other, and you're told to sit in your toilet and to keep flushing. They go by a lot of names: DIY abortion, pill abortion, the abortion pill, chemical abortion, RU486, all the same thing. Chemical abortion is designed to kill. The first pill, mifepristone, is designed to end the life of the child by cutting off progesterone, a necessary hormone that sustains the child, feeds the child. The second pill, mifepristol, stimulates intense artificial contractions to then expel the child, the placenta, the organ the child self-directs and grows, the umbilical cord, and all the other uterine contents out of the mother. 2-pill cocktail. This is why you see a lot of times pro-lifers talking about the abortion pill reversal. Because if she hasn't taken the second drug yet, mifepristol, there's a chance that you can, by inducing more hormones, save the life of the child and counteract the effects of mifepristone, that first drug. The chemical abortion pill is dangerous. Not only does it end the lives of human beings, it leads to injury, infertility, and death to women. And it is the select drug of choice by abusers. Bad stuff. And by the way, it's also polluting our environment and our waterways, but I'll be talking about that more later. Plan B. Now, Plan B can end a human life, but its intention is not to end a human life. Plan B is essentially a mega dose of artificial contraception, birth control. Plan B functions similar to how a normal hormonal, artificial hormone birth control works. If you take Plan B, you're supposed to take it within 72 hours of having sex. The idea is that the sperm is inside of you, and if you haven't released the egg from your ovary yet, it will stop your ovary from releasing that egg. Therefore, egg can't meet sperm, and new human life can't be created. That's the goal: suppress ovulation altogether. That's why, by the way, hormonal birth control is really bad for you, apart from the whole, potentially could end the life of a human being, because it's like suppressing a natural function of your body, which your body is designed to do. Like, if you can't be all organic and then put these artificial hormones into your body. But another topic. So we know every month a woman has an egg that gets released from the right or left ovary. This pill would stop that. Now, there's another function of Plan B, and it's always been on the back of the box of Plan B. Recently, the makers of Plan B have petitioned FDA to take it off the back of the box of Plan B because they want it to be known as a contraceptive, meaning it prevents human conception, human life from coming to existence. But we also know there's another function of Plan B. It's another line of defense. There's debate as to how often it's used. Because the primary method of defense, suppressing ovulation, was the goal. But the second line of defense of Plan B is thickening of the cervical fluid, which affects the movement in the fallopian tubes of the cilia, and also thins the lining of the endometrium, the lining of the uterus, making essentially the womb an inhospitable place for a new human life to grow. Because what happens, normally conception occurs in a fallopian tube after the egg has been released, sperm meets, the winning sperm connects, and a fertilized egg zygote. They use the word fertilized egg to dehumanize the child, but a new human being comes into existence, and then that human being travels down into the uterus and then implants into the uterine wall, where the child starts self-directing itself to grow, starts directing the development of the placenta, which will sustain the child's life. Thinning the lining of the uterus means that child can't implant. Therefore, an early abortion could happen. Now, is the intention to end the human life? No, but it is a possibility that could happen. And that's always been understood with hormonal contraceptives. That's just what we know they do. We know that birth control pills, how many of us know somebody who says they were on a birth control pill when they got pregnant? We know birth control pills, which, the objective of taking a daily pill, that goal is to suppress ovulation from happening. We know birth control pills aren't 100% effective. They have about a 9% annual failure rate, 91% effective. So that means 9% annual failure rate. We know breakthrough ovulation occurs. So therefore we know some eggs do get released. And we know people who've been conceived while their mothers were on birth control. That we know it can't be 100% effective in stopping eggs from being released. So we do know that thinning of the uterus could cause an early abortion. We don't know. There's never been like a worldwide study to figure out what percentage of, early abortions could be taking place, but we do know it's a possibility. And so this is something that I think when we're talking about birth control, when we're talking about Plan B, I think it's very important that we separate it out from chemical abortion, because it's not the same. The intended goal of Plan B and hormonal birth control is to stop conception from occurring. An indirect abortion could happen. Chemical abortion is a direct abortion. You're taking those two pills with the intention to end another human life. I would argue, though, if you're talking to someone about Plan B and hormonal birth control, it's kind of like the Randy Alcorn in his pro-life answers to pro-choice arguments book back in like the 90s. I remember this line he wrote in his book, and I always remember it because it's, if you're not completely sold on the fact that abortion kills a human being, if you think maybe it does, but you're not entirely sure, if you're not completely sold, you're not entirely sure, we don't have the studies to prove how many, abortions, early abortions take place because of hormonal contraceptives or Plan B, even though we know that could be one of the outcomes of the thinning of the uterine lining. Randy Alcorn would ask the question of, if you're driving on a dark road and you see a shadow and you think to yourself, the shadow could be a child, it could be a deer, what does a normal person do? Does a person speed up and go, well, hell with it, I'm going to keep going forward? Or does a normal person say, wait a minute, I'm going to slow down, investigate, and proceed with caution? So, hope this helps. Plan B, hormonal contraceptive pills are capable of causing the unnatural demise of a conceived child, but not directly intended. Chemical abortion directly ends the life of a human child, has a 4 times higher complication rate and a 15% incompletion rate, and leads to the injury, infertility, and death, and is the drug of choice for sex abusers worldwide. There's your definitions.